The first cat craft toy thing we're going to make is this, except without the pretty thing in the center. If you have something pretty you want to wrap around it, go for it. This also is a sample of what we'll be making. Look how simple it is. For this project, you will need a toilet paper tube, scissors, and a basic brain. Fortunately, I have a basic brain as well as the scissors and the toilet paper tube. Cut the tube in half. There goes one half. You cut slits that come close to the center, but not to the center. And how thin these are, totally up to you. I recommend more than 8 and less than 1,000. One side, then the next, and I kind of stagger them so there's less risk I'm going to cut all the way through. Fast forward. Those hands don't shake. So bend back your fringe on both sides. And I like to put it on the table and smush it out a little more. Boink, boink, boink. It's a nice spring also. I could hold my can of Coke off of the table.
Product placement.
Product placement. Will Coke pay us for this, or will they sue us? There you go. That's the fringy thing. What do they call it? Cardboard ring toss.
We are going to make a cardboard ring ball. And all you need are toilet paper tubes and scissors. This is your final product. And we're going to start with the toilet paper tube and cut it in half so you'll have it this size. And then you're going to cut this into 4 equal rings. In order to make sure you get pretty close to 4 equal size rings, you're going to cut this in half, which then allows you to cut the others. Not really, I didn't do that in half. Close to being in half though. And in half, of course, be careful not to cut your fingers when they're underneath. So, there are not a lot of great directions on how to do this. Basically, you know, you're looking at...
Apologies to the author of this book.
You're looking at, I mean, the directions she has are nice. I did look at other directions. I mean, really, it comes down to insert the ring, insert the ring, insert the ring. It's like, and how do you end up with this at the end? So, what I did was, following her directions, I did insert the first ring into the second. So we have it like this. But then, it's like, how do you add these others? So what I did was, I then did this, so that I have 2 of these things. And if anybody out there has a better way of doing this, please let me know. And then I put it somehow in here, so we'll see if I can do it again. It's like every time is a new challenge. Because like this just came apart. But it's kind of...
This is why I hate this one. This one you kind of need glue.
Yeah, you're going to need... Yeah, and if you are going to use glue, Elmer's glue would be the best because it would be the safest. Let's try this again.
That was great, Allison.
Yes, well, sometimes simple projects do not turn out to be all that simple. That's why I admire people who are crafters, because they know how to do it and they make it look simple and blah blah. Okay, so then we put it in here like this. I liked my first ball. It actually stuck together. Okay, this is not going to stay together.
You need glue.
This one worked.
Or
see?
staples.
Look, this one works.
Okay, so do that.
So what happened to this one?
Nobody knows.
I think I want to try it again.
Does this even mention glue?
Okay, so
Doesn't even mention glue.
I'm going to try this again with it being here, and then sticking this under here and seeing if it works that way, and then sticking this underneath here, and then we kind of have a ball. Yes, this works a little better. So,
Can I try it?
it's a sick cat. They're not gonna they're not gonna do it that way. They're not gonna take their paws and flick it.
They're gonna flick it.
But it still stayed kind of together.
Oh, it did.
So now we have two. But this, I think, was a little bit smaller. Somehow, I think if you do it smaller, it works better. I think the bigger the rings, the more likely it's going to start
Somehow it
falling
needs
apart.
to be tight.
Yes, which this one ended up being, and this one did not end up being so much.
Now we're making a thing that isn't in the book. I think everyone probably made these when they were a kid out of paper. This is cardboard. And there's no glue involved because I figured out how to make it without glue. So, it's nice and springy. I call it the cardboard spring. Take a paper towel tube this time, and you would cut it all the way down and then cut another strip. You can see how thick the strips would be. Actually, this way. I'm not going to cut this tube because I already have a tube that's been cut. Save us time. So I'm going to cut the strips. I'm going to make it a little thicker than before. And you do not need to be super straight. I mean, straight, but you don't need like a T-square or anything to make, got away from the perfectly straight lines. Okay, tricky thing is the start, because again, I don't like using glue for a cat toy. So if you remember doing these as a kid, you would overlap them, and then the bottom one gets folded over the top one, and then the bottom one gets folded over the top one, and it's kind of like braiding hair, except it isn't at all. So, but flaps are loose. So what you actually do,
Why are the flaps loose?
because they're not glued, and we have not done my special maneuver.
Aha,
So,
stay tuned.
when you start, if I can remember how to do it, you will actually do this. So you fold over the first time, and then you flip it, and you fold it now the regular way. And in a moment, you will see that the ends, because you folded it backwards, they're linked together. And this, I think, only works if you're using cardboard, not paper, because paper is too flimsy. And because I did that, you're going to come out with uneven lengths. So you end up like this, and then all this left over. So what I'm going to do, first of all, got a little extra there. I'm going to cut that off. And then I just need enough to fold. I'm going to fold this one under that one. So I basically need, I'm going to fold it back this way to figure out where the fold is. And then I'm going to cut it here. And I'm going to fold it back and put it, so we've got it like this. Fold it in, fold it over, and then fold it under. Like, this is the hardest part. You need to be really skilled to do this. And it goes under, and you smush it in there. Now, there you have your springy thing. And because the ends are folded under and are going to stay there, you do not need glue. Then I kind of twist it back to lengthen it without ripping it. And there we have our springy thing.